AVG is good also. The reason I didn't list AVG is because Avast owns AVG.
Oh.
So they're basically the same thing, okay? I feel that the Avast brand runs a little lighter than the AVG, but for years I sold AVG. And Avast acquired them, and their product, Avast, I think went up, a lot. Now, the AVG was out of Germany, Belgium, something like that is where the headquarters were for AVG. And Avast is an American company. They're still owned by Americans, and so they acquired the rights to AVG. So everything is now supported here in the U.S., both products.
Okay.
AVG is good also.
Do we need to purchase it, or is the
AVG,
free version the best? I mean,
Avast and AVG are both available free, and for the home user that doesn't go where they're not supposed to go in general, they're very good free versions. You don't need to pay for them. And the biggest threat is not, and I joke with everybody, oh, you're on porn sites again. The biggest threat is email attachments, and email worms that come in that are not even an attachment. So that's,
You wouldn't know that.
yeah. Email is your biggest infector. Bigger than normal sites are. But no, you don't necessarily have to purchase them. The purchased item has more bells and whistles, and it does a little more, but the protection level is basically the same. Okay? This is where I was getting into the battery on this. What's this I hear about Windows 7 shutting down? The end of the Windows 7 life cycle, otherwise known as the end of life, is set for January 2020. This means Microsoft will discontinue all support, including paid support, and all updates, including security updates. And that's what I was telling you about. So, will Windows 7 still work on your computer? Yes, it will. Are you more exposed to outside threats and browsing and email coming in? As long as the product you have is still supporting Windows 7, you would be all right. But as the products start discontinuing their support for Windows 7, you have to keep your eyes on that very closely, because you may think you have, up-to-date antivirus, and you really don't. So, truthfully, my son's also in IT. He's a network engineer. When 10 was probably out about a year, he kept bugging me, Dad, you gotta upgrade to Windows 10 because you've gotta know how to work on it. But I like 7. Well, you need to upgrade to Windows 10. Well, he's right. I already knew 7, I already knew Vista, I already knew XP. I know all the old operating systems, but I need to be able to know how to get around a Windows 10 computer. So I upgraded my shop computer that I work on every day, all day, to Windows 10. First couple of weeks were rough. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I kept going to do the things as I normally did and stopped. No. Once I got used to 10, I personally think it's more user-friendly than 7, because too bad that's a 7, or I would show you some of the 10 things that are similar. And in Windows 10, there is a free.
that's a 10.
Does this boot?
I think so. Should be
Okay.
charged. Oh, well, you took better.
Yeah. Where was I at here?
Sorry.
No. The window, there is a free program that you can download, and it goes on your corner where your little Windows button is, and it takes Windows 10 and makes the menus exactly like Windows 7. You click on it, and it's still 10, but it brings up the 7 menu just like you're used to. Desktop icons, still basically the same, So,
Don't know how long those, with
what, 10?
The little button?
Oh, that little button? Well, that's a freeware. It's a program that was written outside of Microsoft, so, you know, it'll work as long as there's Windows 10 on a computer. But, I don't know. I'll let this boot up a little bit, and I'll just show you a few things about 10 that may surprise you that it's not as bad as you think. Okay, well, that's pretty much all there is to say on that. How can I clean my computer out of all the junk and make it go faster? Okay, I have listed 3 programs there that are free to download off the internet and run and use. Will they pop up and want you to buy the paid version? Yeah, but you can just click out of it. It's not like some of them that they go through your computer and they say, we found 4,000 things. You say fix them, and they say, okay, send us a check for 40 bucks. Not these programs. Okay? These particular programs, all 3 have freeware versions and paid versions, but the freeware versions work just fine. But those are the 3 programs that I recommend, and they're free. Okay? If you're going beyond that, I guess not being, that's when you need me. Okay? I mean, if it's not cleaning up with those kind of programs, then there's something going on, most likely in the registry. People often ask me, what's the registry? The registry is like the foundation of your house. You know, the registry is what Windows is built on. And the registry is all zeros and ones. You see that every once in a while on TV, 00110. Well, that's the programming language, and all that is held within the registry. And if those ones and zeros aren't in the right locations, in the right sequences, nothing works. So if you ever decide you're gonna edit your registry, think long and hard about it, because one mistake can make it unbootable. So, not something I recommend. Okay,
Come up.
here's what we got. This is what I started to tell you. What if my computer crashes, blue screen, black screen, is there anything I can do? Now, I have given you what the Windows answer would be, okay? And that is, you know, about all you can do is try and restart the program and see if it comes back. Now, there is one little trick. If you have a laptop and the battery is like this, okay, you shut the laptop down, you pull the battery out, and you hold down on the power button for 30 seconds and let it discharge everything in there that was bad. Then you put the battery back in, you power it back up, and sometimes, I call that the shock factor, but sometimes that little shock factor will reboot it back and get everything back in line and work. A desktop doesn't work that way. But a laptop, that's kind of a little thing that you can do to try and kick it back if it goes awry on you. But as far as a desktop goes, generally to recover a blue screen, what I do is I have software that I boot outside the Windows system, and I do hardware diagnostics on the computer, and that normally I will find like there's a bad piece of RAM. Sometimes if you move your computer, especially a desktop, the memory will get loosened just by bumps. You know, it's just sitting in there. And if it gets loose and there's a whole line of gold pins that gotta be in there, and they all gotta be in the right spot, if it gets a little out of kilter, that'll cause a blue screen a lot of times. You know,
So
something.
it might not be as bad as you think.
Mm-hmm. It could be simple as reseating the memory, or, you know, but I can't diagnose that unless I can run the software, which will check each component one sending me a report, you know? So,
Blue screen of death.
the blue screen of death, yep. But that's the story on that one. And why won't my email go faster? All right? This is what you need to do, and I can show you how to get to where this is and how to do it. But, you know, disable add-ins, it's the most effective. Because, how do I say this? When you load Adobe Reader, there's an add-in to your browser for Adobe Reader. When you put most any program, it puts an add-in into your browser, and that's because if you go on a website and you click on an Adobe document, it's already there. Poof. But you don't need that because that document will still open. But they put the add-ins on your browser, and each one of them is running all the time when you're not using it.
is an add-in like is it visible on the browser?
No.
Okay,
You have to go into the settings, and that's why I said I can show them
yeah.
how to do that. It says